Due to the nature of this program, listener aggression is advised.
Let these motherfuckers know who the fucking win. Let these motherfuckers know who the fucking win. Let them know who the fucking win.
Hello, I'm the mighty ShredHammer,
And I'm CroonHammer.
and we are mighty Songhammer, and you're listening to Honest Brutality.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Honest Brutality. I am the Butcher, and I'm joined by Evil Irk and Big Sloppy.
What's
How you guys doing?
What's going on, man?
Not too bad. And today we are hanging out with the epic, the mighty Songhammer.
It's true.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, we're doing awesome. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having us on.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on and doing the show with us. We felt like we would get nerdy today and hang out with some badass musicians that are doing things just a little different. For the listening audience, introduce yourselves and respectively what you do in the band so they get an idea of who's talking when.
I'm CroonHammer. I sing and play guitar and occasionally break kneecaps while collecting payment.
And I'm the mighty ShredHammer. I play guitar. Anything that sounds like a Muppet is probably me singing. And I'm a high warlord, so on the side.
It's true.
Already, I can just visualize a Gwar Songhammer battle to the death.
Ready to go.
Yeah, you know what? I think that would be. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Make the call.
Yeah, these guys are younger and they have a lot more hit points. So I think
I think that should be moderated by Rammstein.
Right.
Oh, I love it.
now we're talking.
We are. Yeah,
He
absolutely.
just created the world's best show.
And actually, he's going to have like one of those Madonna headset mics and be doing the fight calling at the same time.
Right. I like,
It'll be awesome.
Right on.
Songhammer, they are beaten. That's what he would say.
As we enter by
Till Lindemann would
Yeah,
be
we're
proud
gonna
right
have,
now.
Helicopter and unicorn.
Oh my
We
God.
have to make this happen now. It can't not happen.
I know. Even if it's
Better than
only,
the top.
even if it's only in an animated version, it'd be epic.
All right, we're going to need sponsors. Somebody
All
call
right.
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Time. We will launch ourselves into space if we have to.
I'll call Elon. Here,
I am going to invest in fake blood right now because it's going to be epic.
fake.
Yeah, that's right. We've got hammers. We're making them real.
We got ShredHammer, CroonHammer. There's a couple other hammers in your band. Who are they?
Right. We have another guitar player who is DeathHammer, and then our drummer is TimeHammer.
Nice. So listen, we were discussing here around our facility, and I said I want to be an honorary member of, your band,
Yes.
and I think my name should be FleshHammer.
All right, FleshHammer.
Yeah,
Okay, take a knee.
yeah.
All right, doing it?
I'm in.
All right,
FleshHammer.
so now I'm going to dub you FleshHammer.
Yeah, it's official. It's official. I'm official. Oh,
Now all you have to do is you have to melee in and do a instrument melee check.
And there's the small matter of membership fee, which is just
Right.
it's a mere 66% of your income.
Right.
wow.
Sure can.
You guys are generous.
No.
Yeah, for the record, I know how to handle an instrument. I've been told several times.
Yeah, your skin
Oh,
flute.
is that right?
Yeah.
FleshHammer?
Yeah,
As
my
long as you
FleshHammer.
pay your membership fees, your family will be safe.
Right.
They remind me of a church.
Yeah, right. Yeah, almost.
right.
It's their own
It's
religion.
just like that.
It's like a church, a little more violent.
Well, no, it's just we do more of the protecting you in this lifetime than the other one.
Yeah, that's what you do.
I love it.
It's fucking awesome.
Oh, God.
All right, guys. So for the people who don't know who Songhammer are, let's talk about who you are and what you do. It's a little bit different than what everyone else is doing out there musically right now. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we write fight songs for geeks. We work with geek niche media franchises, everything ranging from anime. We've got some stuff about Sword Art Online. We work with movie franchise. What else do we do?
We also do huge events like performing at conventions like BlizzCon for Blizzard Entertainment. We played Gamescom in Germany. Which is a huge video game convention.
And by huge, you means 350,000 attendees.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Wow.
And then we do stuff with San Diego Comic-Con, with Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con. We performed their after party. We do big events for conventions, for large geek niche companies, like Croon said, like for video game companies, comic book companies, cosplay events, anime conventions, stuff like that.
Wow. 350,000 people, they're all coming to see you guys, right?
Yes, all of them.
That's amazing. Gamescom's the largest video game convention in the world. So when we went there, we did it on behalf of Blizzard Entertainment previously, right before they announced their Legion expansion details. So we got to open for the Legion announcement, which was pretty epic.
So we're basically a third-party contractor that brings epic, incredible entertainment and a little bit of violence to the world.
Well, I saw the video for Legion,
Yeah.
which I thought was really well done. A lot of fun in that. If anybody wants to really understand who we're talking to right here, go check out Legion. Good video. I'm loving all the costumes and everything in there, and then
Those
the
are
violence,
costumes, man. That's how
the
they
violence, everything that's going
Yeah,
on.
that's true. Those are our business suits. So don't be calling them costumes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want FleshHammer to get kicked out of Songhammer already by
Yeah.
misrepresenting.
So for the visual aspect, these guys go out there in full regalia. And
Yes.
I mean, they've got these elaborate business suits that they wear.
suits, yeah, correct.
And it's great stuff. And your guys' themes are sort of in that video game fantasy realm as far as the thematic side of what you're doing, right?
Right.
Okay.
Most of the time, we do also we do film score. We just scored the Sony film Cross Wars, starring Danny Trejo, Vinnie Jones,
Brian Austin Green.
Mhm.
Well,
So-
really? Yeah, we'll check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be out this next year. It just came out of production, and we did the film score, and then we also did an original piece, which is like a theme song for the movie.
Correct.
So you guys are a lot different from most of the working musicians we talk to. A lot of them go out and tour and do albums and all that, but you guys definitely found a different way to get your art out and all of that. Do you find that it's a successful way of being a musician by doing the comic niche rather than the general album touring, and all of that?
Well, we've done both, and prior to Songhammer, Croon and I were both touring musicians who did big shows, and we played all over the country. And
for like 20 years.
yeah, and what we realized was that making money that way making serious money that way is almost impossible.
And by serious, he means like student wage.
Right. So to eat more than ramen and tortillas with peanut butter, you're gonna have to. We needed to do something different, and so we started by CroonHammer was an avid Warcraft player, and he had been to the BlizzCon convention, and he realized that there was this music competition for original songs, and called me up, and I had a home studio, and said, "Hey, what if we recorded a couple songs? Maybe we could win this thing." And I thought, sure, yeah, okay, whatever. It's some contest. And we got together, we both wrote songs, we submitted, and what do you know? We won.
Nice.
And that was the beginning of the next time BlizzCon came along, we won their talent competition. And then the third time, we told them, hey, why don't you just hire us? And they said, yeah, let's just hire you. And they started hiring us.
Nice. Real good. Well, your music's not a joke, man. We've been checking it out, and it's damn good.
Well, yeah.
Really.
When we
See,
first got
that's the kicker, because when you look at, you hear about, they're playing Comic-Con, and I checked it out, and I'm like, holy God,
right.
these guys are badass.
Right. And for the record, guys, we get, like I said, we get a lot of submissions, and I saw your submission and I didn't know what to think because I'm reading it and it's like it's all these cons and this different stuff, and I'm like, what are these guys? So we get all kinds of stuff. We get people who have really no business, and I don't mean this in a negative sense, but no business submitting to us. It's a wrong thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to check this out. I started listening to the music, and I immediately, you could ask the guys that are here at the table, I immediately pulled them together. We were here doing a show, and I said, guys, come here, check this out. This is badass.
Yeah.
And so it's a little different. So in that vein, you guys are basically, ultimately, a rock band, metal rock, but you're doing it in a slightly different fashion. Let's talk a little bit about your influences. What influences your music, your style?
Charles Bronson, pretty heavily.
Like Death Wish.
That's a nice call out.
Where our musical influences, it's interesting because for me, I went to the Rock and Roll School of Hard Knocks, and it was gargling, acid and yelling like a monster.
And this is literal.
Yeah, acid mostly, and it was so my whole style was metal and that kind of stuff, and then CroonHammer went to college and, he was doing choral arrangements and learning classical pieces. And so when we got together as a songwriting pair, which was, again, after we had both done separate bands and a lot of different things, we started kind of blending our styles together and creating everything really musically all the way from, straight up pop music to metal. Because when we decided what niche and what market we were shooting for, we realized that at a convention when we're performing, it has to be everything from Elton John to hip hop to straight up metal.
Right.
And so we started, and CroonHammer is a excellent pop writer, and so we started meshing pop and rock and all these other things and creating pieces that we could use to further the kingdom of Songhammer.
Nice.
Well, some of your songs actually even have, in my opinion, sort of a Faith No More type feel to them that, what am I looking for? Avant-garde, progressive, rock.
That's good. We spend a lot of time songwriting. Our average process by the time something gets to post-production is something just north of 400 hours.
Wow. Oh my God.
And that means everything is out of the actual studio and mixing, but we do all of the tracking and all of the pre-pro and the recording in our own studio. And then we go to another studio with a much better producer than us, and we start to do mixing, and we kind of deconstruct and remix and then come out and then master.
How many of these shows are you guys playing a year now?
It really depends on it. Well, it depends on what we're doing. Like last year, we only did about 6 big convention shows, but we scored a movie. Yeah. We did 2 videos. We did. Right. So we end up, and so we believe that less is more. And so, when a convention hires us, we're not a cheap date, right. But we are a hell of a lot of fun on stage, and we bring a ton of energy, and we get the crowd pumped, and we're wearing armor all the time, and we are in there to win it. Yeah.
I don't wear mine in the shower.
Yeah, that's not good for the leather.
Well, are you finding that your audience is growing more and more with each one of these that you do? Are you getting a lot more attendees that are return attendees?
Yeah, we do, but what the interesting thing is this.
Globally, even.
Yeah, it's true. Like when we were in Germany, we were just walking around the streets in Cologne, Germany, and people were mugging us, and we're like, how do you know who we are? You're Songhammer. Oh, we love you. You random Dane.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
So you know what? As FleshHammer in the band, I just want to be on stage being that goofy guy that's running around with like a tambourine, no real purpose.
Oh, like the Mighty Boss Tones?
We absolutely use. I have a star-shaped red tambourine that goes on my armor belt.
That's like he's talking about like a boss tone.
Yeah.
Dancing Bob, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then that way I could be like the bodyguard. So when you're out on the streets of Cologne, Germany,
I don't think they need it, bro.
I'm fending them off. No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. That's a rough job, and particularly, I don't know if you want to be a bodyguard in Germany.
Yeah.
Like those most. I don't know if you knew this or not, but it's a fact that most German citizens are trained in advanced knife combat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you guys just called FleshHammer a pussy, but I'll take it. It is what it is.
Yeah, a little, but no. Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
The tables have finally been turned.
Look, until we get that 60%, 66, whatever, it's all bets are off, right?
Hey, Butcher, I'm feeling a little left out. I think we should both see if we can become honorary members, and then we'll just have Sloppy pay for our 66% as well.
I love it. It's a good. It doesn't matter how we get the money.
As long as we get it. I love it.
We'll just extort it out of Sloppy over here.
Yeah, right.
That works.
Right.
We could just insure Sloppy.
Right?
Now you're thinking.
That's dismemberment policy. Love it.
Those things are really specific, though. Like to
what?
pay out, it's got to be like you lose the arm above the elbow. We got to really study.
We can
So listen, you guys obviously have the music out, and you got the whole stage presence, everything you're doing there. You're scoring movies. Have you guys been approached to maybe doing some sort of a comic book of Songhammer at all, or have you guys thought about that? It's got to be on your radar.
Funny that you ask. So we are in pre-production, or well, actually we're in post-production right now for a rock video for the song "Eat Us Alive." So it's one of the second single actually on the new EP called Disco and DPS. The first one was Legion,
Right.
And we did the video for that, and then and actually that song premiered on the World of Warcraft game launcher, and so Blizzard did a huge push for that. And then "Eat Us Alive" is the second single, also a Warcraft related song. And so we're using a filter, and we're working with a pretty amazing director named Randy Van Dyke he did the Legion video. He does some great work, and the filter that's going over a lot of these green screen shots that we did for the new video is like a comic book filter. And so it's more like, it's almost like animation. And so we get sucked into the video game, and we start playing against a assailant who keeps killing us over and over.
Respawn.
Lovely assailant.
Yeah, right.
The assailant is the fantastic Leanna Vamp.
Yeah, the Vamptress Leanna Vamp. She's a pretty famous model who does work at conventions around the world, and is also a friend of ours. And so she ended up deciding that it was the right thing to do, to be in a rock video with Songhammer to kill us over and over and over again.
It's weird how these things always happen in pockets with us, or in little groups, and new doors open, because we just recently started getting involved in more and more of this side of what's happening in the world with the Comic-Cons and everything else. We have a new staff member who is actually going out and actively doing photography and interviews at the Comic-Cons.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and we also we have a couple of artists that we're dealing with, and we're finding this to be a more common theme now, where the artists are starting to look at that audience as a way to supplement and augment their art. So they're doing the EP or the album, and they're doing videos that go with it to tell the story, and then there's a comic book that kind of parallels and fills in the gaps. So it's all conceptual.
Right.
And this is sort of a new thing that we're running across, and I'm wondering, because I haven't been to one. I fully intend to at this point. We actually have an artist friend that goes to a lot of the cons and whatnot.
Right.
But I'm curious to know, is it a predominantly rock or metal crowd at these events?
No.
It's not any kind of predominant.
Right.
Not musically.
It's really all over the place. There are everything from which is why actually Songhammer, so the Disco and DPS EP has, the song "Man Down" is kind of straight up disco. It's like a club song. And then you have songs like Sword Art, which is, a little bit, Sword Art Online is a little more metal, or Legion, and,
Right.
Eat Us Alive is straight up like AC/DC style rock music almost.
Right. Yeah.
And so when we go to a convention, there are people there who love everything from EDM to club music, to hip hop, to rock. It's really all over the place.
EDM, that's like a medical condition.
Yeah, it is. It's for people.
It'll give you one.
Yeah, right. But so what we find is that that's why Songhammer's music, our last album was Take a Ride on My Spaceship, and it literally has everything from pop songs to almost like J-pop sounding stuff to straight up rock. There's a few Game of Thrones theme songs on there. There's, we go all over the place because the audience is really diverse.
Okay. Speaking of the audience, this is something that has got my inquisitive nature rolling here. The audience is at your show because you're playing these Comic Cons primarily and these gamer conventions. It's, to me, I'm just envisioning a band on an episode of Star Trek playing
or Star Wars.
Yeah, some of the costumes and things you're looking out at in the audience there, it's got to be fantastic. Have you guys ever been on stage and looked down and said, "What the hell is that? What is that person right there?"
Absolutely, it's a glorious thing, and different conventions have some comic book conventions you're going to have more comic book themed people, so like we'll be rocking and there's 4 Captain Americas and they're all into it, and there's all these people that are getting down. But when we play Blizzard events, their convention, particularly like BlizzCon, you have the highest end, most professional cosplay in the world, and they have competition, their cosplay competition that rakes in almost like 10 grand or something like the winner.
Wow.
It is some incredible serious art, and then we're rocking on stage, and we see these people that look like they walked out of a movie, and and it's surreal and it's epic and it's awesome, and I mean those artists inspire us because they're making this amazing artwork.
Right. I got to imagine it goes the other way as well, though, right? Because you're seeing these incredible costumes, and you look over and say, "Oh, that poor guy." he's giving it all he's got, but that costume is just not going to measure up.
Well, here's the epic thing about cosplay is that you can go all the way from people who spend literally thousands and thousands of dollars, and then you can have other people who might have like a bag on their head and it's written something, but it's straight out of like the video game or straight out of something, and people love it.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's the fans are the cosplay is as diverse as and even ranging financially as is the fans and the conventions themselves.
That's we gotta go, man.
Yeah, it's It's so interesting to me, the whole culture that has evolved over the last, I don't know, decade or so. It's really become a whole different thing. It's its own universe.
And y'all spent all this time giving me shit.
Oh,
for
that's,
being a nerd.
that's not gonna change. Yeah, that's gonna stay the same just because we love you.
Yeah. Hey, just so you guys know, our own Butcher here, he's a huge D&D guy.
Woo!
I knew it. I assume some of you guys play?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it started.
Oh, don't tell me that. We're never going to hear the end of it now.
Where do you think all inspiration for RPGs or anything comes from?
Oh,
yeah, it's all D&D.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been nice having you guys on.
Yeah. All right, I just rolled a D20. Go.
Oh, no. Rolling 20s. We actually had a podcast episode entitled
Rolling
20s. Yeah.
Excellent. So, actually, we have a new sponsor for the video.
D20 Strength.
Yeah. It's a health supplement company called D20 Strength, and they're one of our
gamers
sponsors.
and geeks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's a whole market here,
everywhere.
though. Well, why do you?
Well, hold on. D20 Strength. What is that? Like a pencil sharpener or?
What?
Supplements, like health supplements.
It's a
Ignore
joke,
him.
guys.
Ignore him.
Yeah. Don't joke with us. We don't.
He's over here calling everybody else a geek. This guy, fucking guy.
Until the lights go out.
Right. When those lights go out, the hammers come out.
That's right.
The FleshHammers.
No, not those ones.
You said the lights went out.
That
Leave the lights on.
That cost more than 66%.
That's right.
Do you guys find yourselves writing a lot of music for? Are you involved with a lot of the soundtracks for video games themselves at this point?
Not writing, not we like to think of ourselves as accompaniment, and so actually, which is really true. Like a great example is when a guild and a raid group in Warcraft goes and they're all linked together. Sometimes they can stream music or something like that, and they'll be streaming Songhammer,
Like in Discord.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and not just Warcraft, but other games as well. And so what we find is that like people will post on social media or other places, we're rocking the Songhammer right now, taking the dungeon, go! It's pretty epic, and like CroonHammer said, it's fight songs for geeks, man. So whether it's disco fight song or whether it's metal, it's all about the battle.
Yeah, and we're certainly not opposed to scoring video games. We just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I think you guys are onto something huge here because we're seeing it with Pentakill, who recently dropped an album, and I wasn't really familiar with that at all until we caught a video here a few weeks ago, and Butcher's like, I was wrapped up in this forever, and the music's incredible. And then here you guys are adding two as well. I think there's got to be a huge market here. I think you guys are genius. You're on the forefront.
Well, thank you. We like to think of ourselves as genius, but evil
As do I.
Yeah,
of rock.
yeah, right.
That's me.
Oh, is that right? But, yeah, there are some amazing bands actually that just do like metal covers of video game themes and as well. And so they're not actually writing songs for the games, but they're actually doing just covers, and they'll tour conventions and play. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the majority of bands that perform at these conventions are doing either parodies or covers of either video games or comic book stuff or anime.
Or sometimes top 40 in cosplay.
Right, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
But what's a little bit more unique about what Songhammer does is that we write all original material, and so it's not covers, it's not parodies. It's or even like video game themes. It's we're writing original material, so it's a little bit different than some of what the other groups. Although these other groups are amazing.
And by different, what he means is better.
You guys are quickly becoming honorary Honest Brutality members right now.
That is happening.
Yes.
What percent do we have to pay?
68. Just so you know.
Oh, man. Or if we take out his 66,
we're just gonna have to raise rates to 130.
Yeah, right. Sorry, guys. Your rate just went up. Sorry.
Well, if you roll a 20, we'll give you a pass.
All right. Well, we always roll 20s.
And we have a multi-generational indentured servitude program.
Yeah. So it's you and the generations to come.
Right.
The first track on our first CD was actually called Songhammer Always Wins.
Yeah, I was listening to that.
And so when we roll dice, we roll all 20s.
How much time do you guys spend? You're relatively busy, so how much time do you guys spend playing video games or any other sort of entertainment like that? Do you spend a lot of time with it?
Do you mean addiction?
Yeah, well, I'm just curious. I mean, you're writing music, you're recording music, you're doing videos, you're playing conventions, you're doing all of this. I just know that, like, for instance, I like to play occasionally, but I never find the time. So I'm just curious if you guys are actually totally immersed in it or if it's an occasional thing.
Well, I'm addicted to reading fantasy, and so that's my, like, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I'm a huge Dresden File fan. I love Wheel of Time. That was something, like, even before we started getting more into video games, I was just enamored with the world of science fiction and fantasy, including like classics like the Dune series or even Asimov or things like that. And so that's kind of where my roots began. And I spend a lot of time reading and researching. And actually, I started getting into lore of even video game stuff like Warcraft or StarCraft or Overwatch, things like that. And then,
well, to answer plainly, in in World of Warcraft, you can type /played, and it will tell you on that character how many hours you've done. And when you get to 24 hours, it calls it a day, right? So one day means 24 hours of gameplay. It doesn't mean a calendar day.
Right, right.
The sum total of my /played in World of Warcraft is 625 days.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Years.
Wow! Wow! And so, one of you said you're into fantasy reading.
Yes, yeah, like everything from fantasy to sci-fi, actually comic books. So I was, I got to go to Japan, and I just got actually the manga, the Japanese comic for Sword Art Online, which is a, and it was the first run of the first manga episode, which is really cool because then they make it into an anime.
Wow!
And so, but I mean, they're over there. It's like the geek paradise.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
So-
just so you know, FleshHammer's into fantasy reading too. I've been reading what's it called, Dear Penthouse.
Oh, is that right?
Great fantasy reading.
So antiquated. I don't even think they're in print.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with a little fiction in our lives. And we got a lot. Well, we everything from, because we were trying to write music for all of these different, be it franchises or different companies, but also it's like you guys were saying earlier. The conventions now are everywhere. They're huge. They're an entire culture, and it's not just comic books. It's you have comic book conventions, but then you've got all of these sci-fi and fantasy movies and television programs that have some of them having their own conventions, like Star Wars or Star Trek, and then you have Game of Thrones and series like that are written from high fantasy, let's say, but are now becoming these huge giant selling places and selling points. And so and which also Game of Thrones, they have a European convention, they have an American convention, so it's these things are not going away. They're only getting bigger.
Right. We've turned a lot of corners here at our show. When we first started, we made a lot of fun of Butcher and of D&D and of
Right.
And I don't know that we necessarily made fun of these kinds of events, but we just poked fun. It's we're metal, da da da. And what I'm finding is we were absolutely wrong, because these events are very akin to the heavy metal world in the respect that it's a place for all these people who feel like outsiders, who are into something, to go and to come together and to be able to be what they are and do what they want to do and have a great time doing it. And I think that's just fucking amazing, personally.
There's a lot of crossover. There are a lot of metal people. I mean, particularly you go to Germany, like your average German is into metal. It's kind of like, everybody.
Right.
Right. Yeah, right. God bless them.
Actually, at the conventions too, one of the booths that we're always taking pictures at is Heavy Metal Magazine.
Right.
And so they are all over
which is owned by Kevin Eastman, who created the Ninja Turtles.
Right.
I did not know that.
I did not. I just learned something new.
Wow.
He bought it, and so.
Well, and actually, Michael Gross, who created that magazine, was a Songhammer fan. We hung out with him at the Geeky Awards in 2014. Yeah, he passed like 6 months later, but he created it. It was revolutionary, really.
Crazy.
That's awesome. Well, so what is on your agenda? What's on the forefront for Songhammer? What are your plans? What do you aspire to do next?
Global domination.
Yeah, we're going to be a benevolent dictator.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to be a democracy at all.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You'll get healthcare.
Yeah.
Well,
but at the same time you have to.
And the curfews will be liberal.
Yeah, you have to our back and call. Just low level worship, really.
okay. Yeah.
The way you said it was so benevolent.
Benevolent. I would not mind.
Almost a question.
I would not mind throwing our name in the hat to be on the High Council. So just
Okay.
All right.
You just got to get those fees paid. And then
Yeah, we could do the daily media push. The Lord and Masters today say,
Yeah.
Right. Songhammer's daily
and speaking
daily proverb.
So speaking of media push, all of your listeners can go to songhammer.com and get a free song download.
Right.
And also that is a portal to all of our social media.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Perfect.
We were giving away the song Ironborn right
That's
now.
correct. Yeah, Game of Thrones.
It's a Game of Thrones themed song called Ironborn, and it's free through songhammer.com.
That we performed last year in tribute to our show with Hodor.
Yeah, we got to perform with DJ Hodor. It was actually Christian Nairn who plays Hodor on Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
Neither one of them have any idea what you're talking about, just so you know.
Excuse me. I just started watching Game of Thrones 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you converted.
Hey,
I
there
mean-
you go. Hodor.
You stand corrected.
I haven't had time.
And actually, what's coming up is we're going to be putting out the Eat Us Alive video, which actually has some cameos from some pretty awesome people.
Like what kind of awesome people?
What? Like Greg Grunberg.
Greg Grunberg. What might I know him from if I'm not as cool as some of us?
He is the epic cop in the actually telepathic, in Heroes. He was also in Lost. He was in
Yeah.
cameos in everything you can think of. Every
He's
show,
in- he's
Hawaii
also in-
Five-0, Flash.
He's in Force Awakens and
Star Wars.
Trek Beyond.
Yeah. He's been
Right.
in a lot. Yep.
That's badass.
Yeah, he is very cool and wrote a comic book this year, or a graphic novel.
Which J.J. Abrams bought the film rights to.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and so Greg is cameoing along with
Claire Kramer,
who was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Glory, the arch nemesis of season 5. She's also been Bring It On and founder of Geek Nation, etc. And then, last but not least,
Sam Jones,
who you might
get out.
Flash Gordon.
No way.
Yeah.
Even I know that one.
So we put armor on all these people, so they're wearing like Songhammer armor. They got hammers in their hands, and we when we were at Comic-Con this year, we do sketch production for the Channel 5 News, and so the Hard Rock Hotel had let us set up in their Rock and Royalty room. And we set up a huge green screen and lights, and then some of our actor and actress friends came and did these cameos for the Rock video while we're doing the news. In essence.
Fun fact, the Ian Ziering and the Black Eyed Peas both just happened to be there.
Right.
And you guys had a bigger draw.
At Gamescom, yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Right.
So you guys have a really interesting, unique look to you. You wear armor, you have hammers, but there's one particular feature that seems to stand out, at least to me.
Just raw sex appeal.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, okay. Aside from that, there's ShredHammer. You have, I guess, what they're called hair tennae or something. What's going on with that?
Yeah, hair tennae.
Those are kind of nice.
He's got beautiful hair tennae. We call them hair horns, or now they're hair tennae. That's the new term. And
it's ShredHammer's horny haircut.
That's right. When I want to commune with my brethren from other astral planes
or pods,
or pod people,
right.
or
any kind of bacteria,
or in space, I might use them to communicate
or to stir liquids.
Right. Also, it's a good tea or coffee stirrer, and so
in the dark, if you're walking through like a low space.
Right, I can stick them up
like a whisker,
and then I don't hit my head because I'm a little bit tall.
Yeah.
So all of those are functional, pragmatic reasons to have this. So why are more people doing it?
Not to mention that when polled, 65% of women and 85% of men found it more sexually exciting.
Is that true? Yes. I've never read that poll.
That's Eastern Europe at least.
Oh, very popular.
70% of the people agree that I'm correct 100% of the time.
Right.
Yes.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That's right. Oh my God.
So that's creative hairstyle, and CroonHammer has the biker chops and the amazing handlebar mustache, and we basically thought, what's the sexiest, most macho hairstyles and facial hair that a man can have?
Yeah,
and then we did it.
Yeah, and if you think back to the golden era of cologne for high karate or something like that.
1976.
Yeah. It's just really to embody that in a physical form that's that kind of masculinity.
I think Chuck Norris when he fights Bruce Lee with her suit on the and that's our heads.
Right.
Can you fathom that?
Oh, shit.
Oh my God! Awesome.
I love it.
I'm going to run right out today and buy me some Aqua Velva. I'll tell you right now.
That's right.
Well, and one of the things we didn't mention with the membership requirements is you do have to have some chest hair.
Right, and or a shaved, strange hairstyle. If you're going a little bald, it counts in your favor.
Yeah, actually, because male pattern baldness is actually due to an overproduction of testosterone. So those of us without a lot of hair, it's because we're too macho for hair.
We also hate people with too much hair.
Yeah. Unless they're Eastern Europeans, because we've got so much in common.
They love buck. Me, apparently.
Especially.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Was that a sufficient answer?
Yes, that was incredibly sufficient.
What was the question? Good stuff.
Is there anything we haven't talked about yet that you guys wanted to bring up, or anything you guys wanted to throw at us?
Well, definitely that the new EP that Songhammer has out is called Disco and DPS, and it's available everywhere, whether it's CD Baby or iTunes or Spotify or you name it, it's there. And we're basically putting out EPs and prepping and in preps for the next album. Songhammer owns the world.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Well, it depends on whether there's a licensing issue. We actually, if we own the world by then yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'd be false advertising.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you can get Disco and DPS. So DPS, for those of you who don't know, stands for damage per second.
Yeah, and any of you guys out there listening that are new Songhammer fans, our YouTube channel is Songhammer 1. If you want to have a really fun and exciting afternoon sometime, just jump down the rabbit hole, hop on Songhammer 1, and let the video train take you where it goes. You're going to be better off.
So Facebook, anything /Songhammer.
Songhammer.com will take you everywhere, and it's free stuff.
Right.
Gee, that sounds like our website.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, right.
That's what a website should be,
Yeah,
right?
it's something free.
Yeah.
The first time it's free, but next time it'll cost you.
That's right.
Get you hooked like a good pusher.
That's right.
You got the
Just
lunch.
a taste.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell anyone. See you tomorrow. You guys remember those commercials?
Oh, my God.
Thank you guys for coming on. It's been a hell of a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get out to a con and see you guys at some point in the future, and hopefully taking over the world with you.
Well, Honest Brutality, thank you for being neither honest nor brutal with us today. You guys were amazing, and we love it.
Yeah, let me be very blunt here. You guys are a ton of fun. We appreciate it when we have guests that come on and they get it, and you're just entertaining. You're here having a good time with us. You took everything we threw at you and threw more at us. So it was
fantastic.
It was really great.
Great guests.
Really, really
great musicians. That. Ladies and gentlemen, get out there and check out Songhammer.
Woohoo!
Do it.
The mighty Songhammer.
Yep.
They rocked our world.
Yeah. They added a new member, FleshHammer.
Yeah.
Only for basically everything you own and a whole life servitude.
Which isn't a whole lot.
No, it's a really good deal. It might be
basically
a step
I
up
win.
for you.
Yeah. Really, he comes out on top.
Yeah.
They don't know what they just bought.
66% of nothing is still
I was
nothing,
just going
right?
to say, I think they just got debt. You guys, you get guests like that are so much fun. It makes this all worthwhile.
Did you hear the energy in their voice?
Absolutely.
I mean, they love what they do, and that parlays through the microphones, and you hear that, and you're like, man, it's addictive. You want more of that. And you feel that, and you want to just play with these guys, and they played with us the whole time.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get a chance to see these guys do what they do. That's going to be fantastic. We've got our man on the street, a couple of them that are going to be doing a lot more of the cons and that kind of thing. So be watching for coverage of that. As soon as we get the chance to be up close and personal with the mighty Songhammer, we will be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting out. Actually, we've been discussing this a lot more recently, but I'm going to start attending some of these cons. They sound like they're a blast.
Absolutely. In the meantime, this has been Honest Brutality. Thank you so much for listening today. We really do appreciate you. Go out and check out the Mighty Songhammer. Get their music. Go over, tell them you like them, and tell them we sent you.
Yeah.
And check us out. If you haven't already, we're at honestbrutality.com. All things Honest Brutality all the time. You can also check us out on all of our socials. We're on the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter. You can also call us.
Yeah, 530-962-0411. Again, that's 530-962-0411.
And what's one of the most important things you can do, Butcher?
Rate, review, and subscribe on whatever listening platform you're doing.
That's
it really
right.
helps us out. It gets our word out there.
We have no reason to understand why or how it works. We just know that it does.
I think we might be in an interstellar battle here with Songhammer for gaining control of this world first.
I'm not even sure what you just said.
Yeah. It was nerdy.
No, we talked about it already.
Was it nerdy?
We're just going to be on the council. It'll be
Yeah,
fine.
it's easier.
Oh, fuck the council. I want control.
Okay.
You take the council and shove it up your ass. I'm coming after them.
I like your attitude.
But see, they already bought you is the thing. You have no choice now.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm a slave. Damn it. All right.
Dummy.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Okay.
Life of servitude. Here I go.
That's okay, because all you got to do to get out of it is...
Stay metal!
We're the Mighty Songhammer. You're listening to
Honest Brutality, and this is the song Eat Us Alive!
Dungeon in the middle of the night. At some point, there was a hell of a fist fight. Not that you should be concerned. If we fail, all worlds will burn. Burn. Death Knight rocket on a skeletal mount. Blood rains down, it's a hell of a head count. Not that you should be concerned. If we fail, all worlds will burn. Cool down, got soul. Nightmare is a rock and roll. Hey, Croon, let's ride. This tomb is gonna eat us alive. Cool down, got soul. Nightmare is a rock and roll. Hey, Croon, let's ride. This tomb is gonna eat us alive. Fight for the kingdom, fight for the souls, fight for the weapons, fight for the gold, fight for the weak, fight for the right, fight for the orcs, fight for the knights, fight for the power, fight through the pain, fight kill Jade and fight in the rain, fight for the glory, fight through the night, fight till we all stand together in the light. Cool down, got soul, nightmare is a rock and roll. Hey, Croon, let's ride. This tomb is gonna eat us alive. Cool down, got soul. Nightmare is a rock and roll. Hey, Croon, let's ride. This tomb is gonna eat us alive. Let's ride.
Hey, Croon, what you doing tonight?
I'm gonna fight the Legion in Azeroth.
What? In Azeroth?
Yeah, the Legion.
Legion!
You're listening to Honest Brutality. This is the Songhammer song, Legion.
Face melt.
Die, die. Die, die. Die, die. Die, die. And if you think that you can run away, then run away. I'll be behind you. My spectral sight illuminates the night. The time has come for another war, a different score. The